Hello and welcome back to World of Warships with Dukey. Well, actually, that's a lie. This is my first video. Well, my first World of Warships video since I entered the Mighty Jingles World of Warships competition. What was it? 2, 3, 4 years ago? Probably even longer. Anyway, so this is my first proper World of Warships replay, and I've chosen the Yoshino here to showcase what I can do. So we're on Loops, which is, I believe, one of the slightly newer maps on the World of Warships server, and it's not one that I particularly enjoy, but it's got its place in the game. I like the way the islands are positioned, and I like that you've got a couple of different options when it comes to fighting. So right off the bat, I start to move out and trying to protect the Halland in front of me using the AA. Looks like the carrier has done the same. Trying to give him a bit of support, trying to keep him alive as long as possible. That's one of the important things that cruisers got to do these days. So me and the carrier doubled up the AA. There we go. Yoshino's AA is one of my favourite things about the ship. To be fair, it's one of the things about the Japanese cruisers which I often find lacking. But when it comes to the Yoshino here, it's not particularly bad. So yeah, bit of a slow start to this game. I'm trying my best here to sort of support the destroyers heading into the sea cap. Looks like they've already started capping. I believe, looking at the screen, that's the American destroyer, who's on our side of the map here, but should be okay. Should be okay. Yoshino's obviously one of those ships that can't really leave from the front, so it best serves the team as a sort of sniper towards the rear. It's one of those ships that you can also sail quite broadsided as well. People think obviously broadsided cruiser doesn't do a particularly, well, it's a particularly easy target obviously for the battleships on the opposition, and obviously any DD who manages to catch you off guard with torpedoes, but really it's not that bad a ship to sail broadside on. And part of the reason for me is because the two mods that you can add to this ship, which allow the rudder shift time to be much faster, so you can actually, add 80% rudder turn to the ship and make it a better turner, really. Now here's me finally taking some decent shots at a target that's more closer to us, which is the Zao. Those, not a bad salvo there. Try to get it on target, but obviously the Zao's a twisty, turny little sod when it wants to be. So I target one of my favourite things to target in the Yoshino, which is the Yamato. I do think as an anti-battleship ship itself, Yoshino's a really good target. Obviously the gearing here has crashed. He had been trying to capture the sea point, but had been caught out by the combination of the carrier on the team as well as the DD as well. And yeah, got to punish him a little bit really. Lead the shot as he accelerating away. But you never know when you're aiming at DDs from this far away, sort of 15 plus K. Yeah, those going to fall just off. Take a random guess shot, no harm at all, especially if there's nothing better to shoot at this point. And I hold the rounds. And yeah, I mean this makes up quite uninterestingly quite a lot of the Yoshino gameplay that I've played myself. You know, standing at the back in at least for the first half of the game, taking shots at sniping shots at enemy cruisers and carriers, at least just to sort of wither those players down and reduce the enemy's health pool. Launch a set of those 20k torpedoes. So, you know, I do like the 20k torpedoes because they do catch people out. People are not expecting them. And yeah, there you go. That's the one issue I've got with the broadside and the Yoshino is that citadel is absolutely massive. Sending a few shouts out towards the Moskva in return. I think if you can take those kind of ships down early, really do give you the destroyers a bonus. And here we go. Another carrier sending her in. Things. Just try and make a few little adjustments. Try and throw him off guard by twisting and turning in a slightly unusual way. Although the Yoshino is pretty good at taking those kind of shots. Sorry. Coming in for another salvo. Still got my anti-AA up, and I take him down. I think just before he's allowed to drop bombs on us. There we go. Zhao's taking a few more shots at us. So yeah. Now, this is where I really think the power creep's coming into the game, sort of thing, because the salvo and damage that I can put out per salvo really is better than that of the Zhao's, but it's one of those where they do have to hit it, they do have to land those shots, and the Zhao does get the benefit of having that slightly faster reload, but in return you do get that additional damage and fire chance with the Yoshino. This is what makes me I am a big fan of it. I mean, I do like to fire a lot from this sort of angle. I know it's not the most help, and we're not winning my nearest capture point, so to say. But for me, at least, if the enemy is shooting at me, which I want them to do quite a lot of the time when I'm in the Yoshino, because I can recover the health quite nicely, then they're not shooting at my teammates, really, which I'm happy about. You know, obviously nobody really wants to be shot at, but I'd rather be shot at because I can deal with the shots better than, so let's say, a close range destroyer who's a little bit further away. So the Moskva's making an early push for another island just to the left of the sea to try and cut off this side of the map, essentially, from us. I do what I can here to sort of prevent him from doing that, and you know, staying around this point here and really laying that sort of fire down against Moskva, who's going to help him out, and that's a big chunk of health there. Ideally, that might be better suited as an AP salvo, but when you're shooting things like the Moskva and it's the Lady Armana, you're never guaranteed to go through. So I've got the Montana again, having another pop at me. He's been having a go throughout the game. I capped one of them, but it's, you know, again, it's not damage I can't recover, you see. Pop the aeroplane up so I get a little bit of extra range. Pushing the range on the guns up to 25 kilometers. Now I know a lot of people are not that good with the plane view, but I found, especially with the Yoshino, I can land those sorts of shots, and they are useful. And I use it mainly because I find it a lot easier to gauge the speed when they're moving slowly towards you, like this. Still taking fire from the Montana, but I'm using that rudder shift time to really sort of throw him off, and he's only been able to land one or two shells the last sort of 3 or 4 salvos that he's fired here. There you go, first fire on the Montana. I don't know if he's used his damage control. I dropped some torpedoes there to the left of the map, hoping obviously that the Daring and the Halland stay away from them, because you have got to be a little bit careful. Zhao's having a few shots as well. He's an easy target, so I'm going to fire one at him. I can leave the Montana burning on a little bit of on a single fire for the time being, because if he doesn't put that out, that's obviously bonus fire damage for me. I can always have a go at him again when he does. Montana's seeing the Montana salvo again, take a sharp left turn, and as you can see, if you cut that throttle with the Yoshino and you turn at the same time, you become a very, very difficult target to hit. So Montana catches a torpedo there. I believe he uses his damage control. Oh no, he hasn't. There we go, we've got him now, I think. He's managed to use his damage control. Keep on sending shots out of them, see if we can stop him from surviving. Tanner's in and it looks like one of my 20k torpedoes hit him. There we go, taking him out of the game. That was a big play. Big bonus for us. Now, as you can see, the enemy's just captured the B point. This is where we really start struggling. And they're just going to start picking us to pieces. Looking at the map, we have got a nice spread. You know, we're holding our own. We haven't just committed to one side really. Although we've backed off one side, we can still fight quite comfortably against them. Putting a bit of fire out of the Yamato, we've got to start withering him right now. Easy to dodge the easy to dodge the torpedoes from that. Fire some bit more HE out towards Yamato. We've got to weather him down a little bit more. And now we can see the enemy's starting to capture A as well, so we're about to lose all 3 caps. We're down on ships. 4 losses for 2 kills. I'm not doing too bad here. Already on 113,000 damage. 7 minutes remaining in the match. Quick pot of the Z52, so they might catch, they might not, and the gearing here has decided to make me his target by the looks of it. We'll see that gearing again a little bit later on. Try and take a random shot out at him, but no, he's moving about in this way. It's going to be very difficult to hit from that angle. So try and weather the fire damage. I put it out a little bit early really, but let's see if I can just take advantage here. So I start moving towards the A cap. We keep on catching that Shima in the smoke over there. I'm a little bit concerned about him. So I'll go around the island, but try and keep a bit of action on the gear. Keep on trying to do a bit of damage here, there, and everywhere. That Zhao is very low, and he's sat still at the minute as well, so might be able to creep those over the top. Seems to have caught it, unfortunately. Have a couple of more pops at the Yamato, see if we can set another fire on him. I'm very aware now. Start becoming very aware of the Shimas in front of us, and I see he's popped the smoke to try and keep himself in a bit of cover, but I don't think he's moved. I Sent a few shells out towards the Thunderer, but I've got to be aware those big guns on the Thunderer can one-hit me, and I've definitely been on the receiving end of that thing a few times. So yeah, so because we've not been able to keep hold of the points, we're now in a position where we are behind 700 to 668. Fortunately, our DDs, which are putting in one hell of a shift there, sorted B out. So anyway, priorities now. Shima. Now I don't want to get away. I saw that he's fired all sets of his torpedoes, so I didn't bother using hydroacoustic. I've got a bit of carrier support here, but obviously carrier support and torpedoes, not a very good mix really. Probably has distracted him a little bit, but there we go. We managed to take him out with a second salvo. Get a thanks from the teammate, which is pretty good. Very polite of him. I put compliments in against the for the destroyers right at the end of the game, so that's I was happy with that. Anyway, so despite taking the Shima out, we're still 30 points ahead, but we got lost 2 capture points. We managed to equal the match as well, though. Managed to get a little fire on the Hindi. I think he's put it straight out again. 3 minutes left of the game. Capturing the A point. Make sure that we hold at least 2 caps. Obviously, they've captured B. We're capturing C. So it's been one of those games where the caps switched hands, which was it's a positive thing, really. A lot of matches, they always end up with always at the back. Less than 3 minutes to go. Still capturing A. All 3 caps are being flipped, so no points are changing hands, so to speak. And that's it. The DDs managed to capture C and pushes ahead again. Try and fire some shots out against the Thunderer with only front turrets exposed. I can see the carrier starting to call for help. There's not a great deal I can do from this position at the minute. I do think about launching some torpedoes there against the Thunderer, but it's not possible. In the meantime, we've managed to lose at least 2 ships, and that's really pushed the enemy ahead there, whilst I was trying to pull myself from behind the island. But we've still got the 2 capture points and 1 minute and 30 left. We're already 100 points behind though. Thunderer's targeting me, Gearing's targeting me. Somebody else is targeting as well, they've all dropped off. Some being distracted by something. Gearing's just been spotted trying to chase down the Agaru. Still at this point, 100 points behind with 50 seconds remaining. And these are the Gearing's torpedoes. Unfortunately, I catch one of these. Force me into a flood to repair it. As well as shots coming in against the, from the Thunderer. 25 seconds left, still 80 points behind. Fire out a salvo against the gearing. Catch him with just the one. 80 points behind, 13 seconds left. 10 points behind, or 10 seconds. Fire salvo, just catch him and it flips the score 3 seconds from the end. And there we go, we just win 854 points to 847. And that's all she wrote. So yeah, I thought that was a pretty exciting game to start showcasing some of my World of Warships replays. Obviously, it wasn't super engaging right at the start, but towards the end, you can see. Anyway, so onto the scoreboard. Now, unfortunately, it wasn't until after the game had finished that I'd realised that we'd won. Believe it or not, I thought I was set to be a loss. I was really quite surprised. So I ended up leaving that game and going and have a look at the replays to figure out what happened with the score. Now here we got the actual personal score of mine, which I ended up having to get from the replays site. So 150,000 damage, 84 hits rather. 63 penetrations, which is I think is pretty good for this ship, to be fair. 2 ricochets, 3 over penetrations, and 16 non-penetrations. There was the 1 torpedo hit for around about sort of 300 or 3,000, 4,000 damage on the Montana. 12 planes shot down, 7 criticals, 3 destroyed, 10 fires, 1 flooding. Again, that was on the Montana. Captured the A point. And then we used the secondary battery twice. So I actually ended up getting the Dreadnought as well, Dreadnought Award. Looking at the next one, top of the team with the Yoshino, 3 kills overall. So I think we put in a bit of a fair slog that game. You know, it's I know obviously sitting at the back at the start of the game's not always in the best interest of the team, but I think we did. I think I made up for it this time. And yeah. Sorry there was no experience, as I said. Left the game a little bit quick because I was all a bit too interested in finding out how it happened. So in future I'll definitely be saving screenshots of the final sort of end tabs for you guys to have a look at. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this first video from myself, Dukey 89 in the Yoshino, and I'll catch you for the next one.